Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it. In the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it. I've been dealing with health issues for quite a while now, for some good number of years now, right? And what has it taken from me? What has health issues taken from my life? Health issues haven't taken anything from my life. I don't give it that kind of power. I don't give it that kind of authority. Now, you can give it that authority and you can be like, it took a lot of things from me, but it hasn't taken anything from me because I have a different mindset than a lot of people. A lot of people have the mindset that this health issue says that these things will happen, these things you can't do, and it's hopeless. And if it has a negative downward spiral progression that comes with that health disease, a lot of people just take that and say this is where they're going, and then they accept things and they give into things as it happened to them. I'm not of that mindset. Number one, I believe in God, and I know that miracles do happen. I've experienced miracles where things happen that the world say and that the scientific laws say that cannot happen, where I know that it has happened for me. So I don't look at anything as absolute. I don't look at it as it's a definite, that these things are definitely going to happen. I'm a woman of faith, so I believe, and I believe in God for my complete and total healing. And so when things were said that this would be the end, this is the only way, I never accepted that, because I know that that's man word, but God word exceeds that. And so that's me, okay? And it works for me. You do whatever works for you, but I'm telling you what works and has worked for me. So I don't believe that's the end. I also know that just because something is incurable, is known as incurable, or that is known as, it's definite that it's going to go that way, does not necessarily mean that there's true, that there is information out there. There are things that are out there that either A, I have not been exposed to, or B, my finances don't put me in a situation to know about them. And I don't allow my finances to dictate that for me. So there's nothing out there that once I find out about it that is not available to me. Or I usually find ways to get myself in realms where, or the Lord opened up doors for me to get me in realms where things that are not normally within my economic scope become available to me. And then I then have that access to that information or that knowledge to be able to use that. You might disagree with me, but let's use Magic Johnson as an example, right? AIDS. We've heard about AIDS. People are scared of AIDS, of HIV. We hear that that stuff is incurable and people die a horrible death. Not too many people know a lot of people who have recovered from that or who have been cured of that, right? But then we heard about Magic Johnson. It's this big scare. People didn't want to play with him in the NBA anymore. But because of his money and his status, he was in a situation and an ability where he had access to information, to knowledge, to people, to technology that most people don't have access to. And because of who he is and the money that he has, he was able to deal with that and get that out of his life, right? Where a lot of people in everyday life don't have that ability to do that thing. So AIDS may be incurable for some people in the world, and we may still be hearing about it's not curable, but then when it came to somebody who had money and who had access and who had ability, he was able to deal with it. So I understand that, and because I understand that, there is nothing that is incurable in my eyes and in my mindset. There is nothing that can't be taken care of. So to me, right, sickness, disease, health issues have not taken anything from my life, because I don't close my mind and box my mind into this is it. Okay, the other thing that I don't do is I don't limit myself, and I don't allow sickness and disease or health issues to limit me. I don't allow it to put stipulations on me. So if there's something that I'm not supposed to be doing right now, that's not good for me, or that I may not have the physical ability to do right now, I don't close it off in my mind and say it's taking it from me, I can't do that no more. I look at it as I choose to not do it right now because it's not in my best interest, but I do know that I will be doing it again in the future. I will do it at a later date. So there are times when, you guys, my skin was translucent, and if you waved your hand in the air or opened a door way across on the other side of the room, the atmosphere change would cause my body severe pain. It would cause me hurt. You didn't have to touch me to hurt. Just a change in the atmosphere was excruciating. So touch, can you imagine just how much more amplified actual touch would be if just a change in the atmosphere took me through those kinds of changes? But I didn't look at that. I had a newborn at the time, and I had a couple of toddlers. All my kids were steps. So all my babies were, they were young, and they needed lots of hugs and kisses. And it wasn't, for me, I can't hold my baby because I'm going through this. No, I actually held my baby anyway. It hurt, but I didn't allow it to stop me from holding my baby. Now, did I hold her all day long? No, I didn't hold her all day long, but there wasn't a day that didn't go by that I didn't hold her in my arms. And I may only held her in my arms for a little bit, but I did it a little bit multiple times a day because I knew that she, as well as my other children, needed the touch of their mother. I did not limit myself to what I was going through. I didn't allow it to limit what I could do. I didn't allow what doctors said I could or should not do to limit me. I still took trips, you guys, fully bedridden, not in a situation where movement should have been happening at all, but it did not stop me from traveling to go get medical care. You might think about it. Sometimes I stuffed myself in a front seat. Sometimes we laid out the back seat or laid down the trunk in the SUV. Sometimes you might have to get an ambulance to be able to transport you. There's medical planes that you can take if you want to get somewhere. If there's something that you want to do, you are not limited because what you're going through. I've traveled and had a lot of machinery transported to where I was, plus a lot of stuff in the vehicle with me so that I can still do different treatment and therapies as I traveled and did the things that I need to do. I do not close my mind in and look at things as I'm limited. I cannot do. There's something that I want to tell you that's really important, and you guys have got to get this. When you're trying to figure out what you can and cannot do, or say if you have a financial need and you need to make money, but you're like, I'm going through health issues, how am I going to make money? How am I going to do this? Because I have to meet this. Any goal that you have in life, it's starting to rain. Any goal that you have in life, if you want to attain that goal right in the situation that you're in, if you start looking at all the things you can't do, you're going to stifle creativity. You are totally blocked when it comes to creativity, and you're most likely not going to do anything because it's going to seem like a helpless situation, like it can't be done. I don't do that. I don't look at what I cannot do. I look at all the possibilities, no matter how wild or how crazy they are, of how to accomplish what I want to accomplish. I don't look at what I can't do. And then I look at how best can I do what looks like I can't do, right? So I don't limit it. If my baby was on the floor and she was crying and I couldn't bend down and pick her up, I might be able to sit down on the floor and pick her up. If sitting down on the floor was an option, I was bedridden, she can get on the bed, somebody can put her on the bed, I can talk to her and play with her while she's laying with me. I always found a way to do what it is that I need to do. But if I'm looking at it like, oh, I can't bend down, or oh, it hurts if I pick her up, I'm never going to pick up my baby. You will stop creativity. You will stop finding a way if you're looking at all the reasons of why you can't do. So if I was in the bed and I'm bedridden, I can't get up, I can't sit up, I can't turn over. There's a lot of things I couldn't do, you guys. I had, those skillets, those electric skillets. I put those on top of my TV tray. I have my family put them on the side of me, on the next to my bed or the couch or wherever I was, or I use those little aisles and put pots, you guys, and I cooked. And if I wasn't able to do that, I would sit there and watch my kids and tell them, okay, now put this in there, now stir that up, now do this. But I still have it next to me where I could find a way to do something. Now, I know all the hazards with that. You can burn this, you can do that. Look, I did what I had to do for my family so that my family can eat. But don't think about all the ways that you can't do anything. Sometimes when you're looking at a big goal, like especially finances, you think of, what can I do to get this big number really quick? What can I do to get this big difference in my health really quick? Sometimes it's not going to be a big thing that you can do to get it all at one time. Sometimes you got to learn how to do stuff in pieces. right? So if you're trying to get to a number, you might not be able to go out and do something that's going to score you this big score to get this big number, but it might come in little bits. So it might be every time I break $1, I'm going to save my change. It might be I'm just not going to get that one cup of Starbucks once a week and take that money I would use for that and put it in there. Plus add it to all these other things I'm doing to get larger amounts. Sometimes we look at the big things and we overlook the little things. Sometimes you're going to get what you need by a lot of little things. Sometimes it's a bigger thing and some little things and some middle-sized things that come together to get you the big things. So don't block your mind. Don't stifle creativity so that you can find what it is that you want to do. I'm trying to tell you, when you're dealing with health issues, creativity is like one of your number one arsenals. It's in your top arsenals in your baggage, right? You got your armor, you got all your stuff in your arsenal, and you got a couple weapons in there, right? That's going to be one of your top 5, top 10 weapons that you're going to use, is to have that creativity, to figure out ways to do things outside of the box, outside of the limitations that your health issues, that doctors, that other things in life might be saying that you're going to have. That's how you break out. That's how you break free. You got to be creative in this game. Remember, in all things, do you. Be you. Do what's best for you and your family at all times. Until next time. Bye.